What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? That's what it feels like we're on a collision course towards in this year's Champions League final under the bright lights of the Puskás Aréna when Arsenal face PSG in a match where two managers seek to outwit each other. Two teams desperate for glory and two sets of fan base desperate to see their teams win. For Arsenal, they come in newly crowned as the Premier League champions and will be riding on the confidence of that. And for PSG, they've been here before. They have the know-how of reaching the top of European football and will be looking to stay there and build on that dominance. They'll be looking to show that the win against Inter in last year's final wasn't just a fluke, but a start of something long-term. Arsenal come into the final after being away from it for 20 years. The last time they were in the final, they lost to Barcelona in Paris 2-1. But this time around, they come with the experience of winning a major trophy in the Premier League. They come with a mean defense. They come with street-wise players who know what it takes to win. And come with a manager who is desperate to prove himself in that he's one of the best. And for PSG, they are looking to solidify and consolidate what they did last season, build on it, and start a mini dynasty of their own. Players such as Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Bradley Barcola, Desiree Doué, Vitinha will be looking to come only a select few players who have won the Champions League back to back. And for PSG, they'll be looking to show that they are one of the dominant teams in modern football. Arsenal Arsenal will provide the top test for PSG. It will be interesting to see that kind of approach Mikel Arteta takes into this match. Whether he'll sit deep and rely on things such as set piece to win the match, considering Arsenal have much taller and more physical defenders comparing or even players in general compared to PSG, whose players are more techy and are more diminutive. And also Arsenal having faced a team like PSG this whole season, whether in the Premier League or the Champions League, the closest they came were Bayern, but they confidently dispatched Bayern. For Arsenal, PSG's attackers aren't static. They all press, they all interchange each other, in which we just have players like Gabriel and Saliba are able to handle because most of the teams they play, whether in Premier League or Champions League, haven't had the quality of PSG. And for PSG, it will be also interesting to see how the attack can break down the defense, which has considered I think 3 goals in the Champions League, and they haven't a team which hasn't lost in this in competition. As PSG forwards can sometimes be streaky in front of goals where they'll get a lot of chances and miss it. Even against Liverpool, there were a lot of chances which were missed. And it will be interesting to see if they can get their act together when it really matters now. And for us now, like I said, it will be interesting to see the approach Mikel Arteta takes, whether he tries to sit deep and try and hit maybe PSG on the counter because of the spaces which may become available. One thing that works in housing Arsenal's favour is the pressure is almost off after winning the league. This can be seen as a quote unquote free hit where they don't necessarily have to win it to say. But for PSG, they'll be looking to build on what they did last season and show that they are one of the big dogs in modern football. So I think more of the pressure will be on PSG to take the initiative to attack and set the tempo of the game. But Arsenal, as Luis Enrique said, one of the best pressing teams in the world. And for them, they wouldn't have a problem sitting deep and having letting PSG having other ball and just hitting them on the break. PSG will look to attack fast, and I think if PSG are able to get an early goal, it would somehow disrupt Arsenal's plans because that will force Arsenal to come out and attack. But if Arsenal are the ones who get an early set piece goal, I think they'll just sit back and try to soak in all the pressure. As most of their matches in the Premier League should, they are comfortable in doing that and wouldn't be bothered if PSG have a lot of the ball. There are interesting storylines in this. Let's see how Bukayo Saka will perform against someone like Nuno Mendes, who has locked up a lot of Europe's best rankings, although he did struggle against Michael Olise. And for, like I said, Arsenal defense, let's see how they can manage against the tricky and pace of PSG. Also, the midfield battle will be interesting to see players such as Vitinha, João Neves, whether Zaire Emery plays or Fabian Ruiz can handle those of Declan Rice, maybe Zubimendi, if Zubimendi plays and Eze, all those are key interesting battles. Honestly, as you know, finals are dictated by little moments of genius or mistakes, and it will be interesting to see who comes up with that, who rise to the occasion, be immortalized in the Champions League, like how players such as Sergio Ramos, Didier Drogba, and others did for their respective clubs, or who end up making a mistake and then become the villain for his or her club. Le- I think it will be a tough match, but I expect, considering Arsenal have won the league and there was a lot of good vibes in the club, I expect I will go for a shock 2-1 Arsenal win. Let me know what your thoughts in the predict. Let me, since Arsenal are having a good vibes and coming to this match, and the pressure is almost off, the sense of relief their players are feeling. I'll go for a shock Arsenal 2-1 win. In the comments below, who you think will win and which matchups you are looking forward to in this match. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification.